Hello, Jennifer Tochi here. And pre-warning. I am under the um, influence of allergy relief, and I have just watched a part 2 of my favorite movie of all time. Part 2 isn't my favorite movie of all time. Part 1 is. Okay. So, yesterday I could not do my 80s archives video. Sorry. It's spring's coming to Montana. Even though it snowed 4 days ago, somehow dandelions are coming out and pollen is coming out. So my allergies are kind of kicking me in the ass. Okay. So I had to get me a little happiness to get me through the day. And I plan to watch part 1 of this movie as soon as I finish this review. Okay, so this week I have picked for 80's archives from Hobbs Horror. I have picked Revenge of the Nerds part 2. Nerds in Paradise. Okay, made in 1987, directed by Joe Roth. Yes. And this movie has the nerds in it. Not all the nerds anyway. Because my little Brian Tochi, or Takashi, does not make appearance in this movie. He is missed, but I still like this movie. Because my favorite nerd is in it. And he does a lot of stuff that I love in it. Okay, so who do we got in this movie? There's Booger, my favorite nerd of all time. Played by Curtis Armstrong. Got Lewis, Robert Carradine. Lamar, played by Larry B. Scott. That little, let's see, where are you? Yes, that kid right there. That perverted little kid from part 1. He's come back. He's grown up some, and he's turning into even more of a pervert. Hey, you're hanging around Booger a lot. What do you expect? Pan down. And then we got the Poindexter, Timothy Busfield. And we've got somebody from a jock from the original Revenge of the Nerds. Donald Gibb, who plays Ogre. Yes. My favorite jock of all time. Hey, how can you go wrong with Ogre, you know? There is a little tiny part for Gilbert, played by Anthony Edwards. He was supposed to go to Paradise too, but he has broken his leg playing chess. Yes. And we've got Lewis's dad again, driving the nerds to the airport. And where are they going? They are going to Fort Lauderdale. They are representative for Adams College for the United Fraternity Conference, where All the fraternities are going to meet to make new rules, set new standards, party, and get laid. True, true, true. This is what it seems like they are wanting to do here. Yes. Now, the nerds are supposed to be the king now after part 1, but no. Once they get to Fort Lauderdale, what happens? Turns back into old times. There's some alpha betas there, some new ones that are trying to treat them like the alpha betas did at Adams College. And for some reason, Ogre's there with them. Probably because Ogre's just a damn fun character. And people knew they would watch. People would watch if Ogre's in there, man. Yes, and when they get there, they are kicked out of their hotels because the acting manager used to be an alpha beta. Ooh. Yes, and so they are kicked out of their fancy hotel. And, oh no, yes, it's true, but they are. So they have to find a new hotel. And they find the only one that has an opening is the Hotel Coral Essex. Yes. Ooh. But there, Booger meets his own, what's his name? His own kind of Mr. Miyagi, you know, whose name is Snotty. Yes, an older gentleman that is teaching. Booger comes into his room and says, This is a pigsty. And the man says, thank you. And he says, Booger says, my name is Dudley Dawson, but you can call me Booger. And that guy says his name, but I've taken that out of my mind. And he says, but people call me Snotty, yes. And Booger shows off his burping skills. But then Snotty just breathes in the air and like triple burps more than him. Yes, and during this movie, and Booger then gets down on his knees and says, Master! And Snotty ends up teaching him things. Like to truly hawk a loogie, you do not take the phlegm from one's throat, but from your soul. Little Karate Kitty in there. Yes, but oh, those alpha betas, they try to just say you have to be physically strong as long as mentally, and try to make a thing about number 15 was his name. Yeah. That they have to be physically strong as well as mentally. Well, the nerds don't think they can live up to that. So what do? They throw a party. Ooh. And there is another performance by the nerds with rap in it. Yes. Did I like this performance better than part one? No, but it's pretty good. Hey, Larry B. Scott is a pretty good rapper. And during this, a prank is played on them by the Alpha Betas, where the nerds are forced to take off their clothes. And damn, Larry B. Scott looks good in cheetah print underwear walking around. But it seems like all the rest of the nerds got to wear undershirts, but Larry B. Scott, he be looking fine in those underwear. Booger looked good in his black undies too. I mean, underwear too. Yes, and they have a no on 15 party. Sorry, the underwear got into my head and I had to say it. Yes, they have a party, and it's a no on 15 party. And they end up, people say no to 15. Yes. So the nerds win. So they have to find another way to get rid of the nerd. Yes. And boy, do they have to work to get rid of the nerds. Will they get rid of the nerds? Will the nerds get their revenge? I think if you haven't seen this movie, you can guess. Because it's Revenge of the Nerds movie. Yes, and yeah, that's about all I can think of right now. And I'm about to turn off the lights, put in a movie, and go back to my pills. Goodbye.